Hi everyone, I'm Tanaz from foreverconscious.com and this is your weekly energy forecast for the week of November 22nd. We are now in Sagittarius season. Maybe you're feeling that shift out of that watery energy of Scorpio into this sort of more fiery energy of Sagittarius. Sagittarius is represented by the archer, right? Pulling its bow and arrow in a direction. And actually, if we trace the direction of this arrow, we will see that the archer is actually pointing at the star Antares. I hope I'm pronouncing that star name correctly, but Antares is known as the heart of the scorpion. So I think there's a nice symbolism there for us as we journey through this week, especially. How can we keep focused on our heart? How can we keep our heart energy as our focus this week and think about ways that we can move from the heart? I don't know about you guys, I'm guilty of this, that sometimes I get very caught up in my head, and our mind tends to run into overdrive and we start overthinking and, we tell ourselves these little stories and we get attached to these stories, and these stories can color an event, and the event's happened, it's gone, but these stories continue over and over in our mind. So if you're feeling that, if you're feeling a lot of energy up in the, head area, your mind is very active, try to imagine channeling this energy down into your heart, thinking about that Sagittarius symbolism of the, bow and arrow being pointed at the heart. How can we keep our focus on our heart energy center? How can we keep ourselves moving from a heart-centered place? When we move from a heart-centered place, we are more compassionate, we're more kind, we are more forgiving, we're more loving towards ourselves, but we're also in a state of our power. Our heart center is part of our connection to our higher self, to the lower and the higher parts of our body, the heavens and the earth. So it's not, I guess I'm saying that because I don't want you to think that necessarily that heart-centered isn't necessarily powerful. It's very powerful. Yes, it's kind and compassionate and lovey and all that sort of stuff, but there's a power with it as well. So how can you move from your heart-led power? And that's something to keep in mind as we move through this week. There really isn't too much going on this week. I mean, 2020 has been a really busy year, so don't get me wrong, there's always a lot going on. But in terms of, anything really loud or, major, it's a pretty smooth week. However, I will say that we are heading closer and closer to the lunar eclipse. It falls on the 30th. Lunar eclipses are full moon, they happen on the full moon. So this is a full moon lunar eclipse. And we're gonna definitely start feeling this energy, especially as we get to the end of the week, even though it is still a little ways away. And that is because lunar eclipses are just so powerful. They are really potent. Sometimes we can even see them or feel them working a month before they arrive. So definitely, as we get closer to it, that's falling in the sign of Gemini on the 30th of November, but we will definitely start feeling that this week. So what might you feel? What can you expect? Maybe you'll start to feel a sense of culmination. Maybe you'll start to, feel that you're reaching a harvest point with something in your life. Maybe also there'll be a sense of something needing to fall away. Maybe you've been, working on something that's, you can feel it's about to come to its end. Maybe that's externally or, internally on a thought process or on an inner thing that you've been working with. Lunar eclipses typically are about endings. They're about something being removed or taken away from your life, and then this space, this void that is left holds a lot of power for creative potential and new beginnings whenever the time comes for that to sort of flourish. So if you notice something falling away from your life, if you notice something reaching its harvest or completion point, you're very likely tapping into whatever this eclipse is helping you come full circle with. Eclipses, because they are a full moon and they're like a potent full moon energy, we may also start feeling a little bit emotional, our emotions. Again, and this kind of comes back to that leading from the heart-centered place, because this is a Gemini lunar eclipse, and Gemini really rules over Mercury, and Mercury rules over our mind. Again, it's going to be really important to try and stay out of that monkey mind, that ego voice that likes to tell stories and, you know, keep repeating over and over and over again on things. We want to try and stay out of that as much as possible, and again, acting and moving from a place of the heart. So I hope that's helpful. I hope you all have a wonderful week. Just a reminder, my moon calendar is still available. I have very limited copies left, so if you're interested, I will put a link below. It holds all of the full moon, new moon, retrograde dates for 2021. It's available on Etsy. All right, I'm Tanaz from foreverconscious.com. Thank you so much.